Welcome back, everyone. Casey with CX Mods. Today we're going to be upgrading the LEDs in the factory fog housings since they're pretty much useless. We're going to be putting these LEDs in that are considerably brighter. Unfortunately, we have to take the front bumper off because there's a bracket that holds the LED in the factory housing. So we got to get everything off so that we can get to that and put the new LED in. So let's get started. So I'm going to start underneath the vehicle. There are a bunch of 10mm screws and push pins that need to be removed so that I can get the splash guard off. So I'm going to start here, and then there's some push pins on the fender flares we need to get taken off so that we can remove the bumper, and then there's some hardware up in the engine that we need to get removed. So I'm going to start down here and I'm going to go from there. So as you can see, I got the splash guard off. This is going to be all the hardware for that. And now we're going to move on to, there's some push pins that are holding this fender flare in place with the bumper. So I need to get those off on both sides, and then we should be able to remove the top hardware in the engine bay and be good to go. We'll need to remove these three 10mm screws, unplug this, and then unplug this. That should be all you need up top. Just a couple last things before we start taking the bumper off. It's always a good rule of thumb to mask off where the bumper is gonna possibly contact the fender, so that when you go to put it back on, you won't scratch anything up. And then the last thing, once I do that, these are held in by a couple, it's kind of clipped in on the back side, so I need to fish my hand up and unclip those. So that's good enough, really. Now, should be good to pull out the bumper, and then I'll move over to the other side. So I got the other side off, and now we just need to kind of just work around. There we go. There's kind of a tab that these slide into, so once you lift them off that, it should be good. And then the fog lights are going to be plugged in still, so we need to get those out. As you can see, there's a little tab that those slide, the wiring for the fog lights slide into. So I'm gonna unclip that so that I can unplug the fog light. So now that we have the bumper off, I'm gonna remove the fog light housing and then show you why all this is necessary to get the LED out. So there's just 3 Phillips screws holding these in. So as you can see, Toyota was really nice to put a screw there that you can't reverse, or at least I don't have a tool for it. So I'm gonna have to notch this screw with a Dremel so I can kind of get a flat head on it. That way I can get this bracket off and then take the LED out. So I'm gonna do that now. So I'll show you what I did on the passenger side. So as you can see, I just ran a Dremel through the middle. That way I should be able to loosen it up. There we go. So now that we got the bracket off on that, we can twist this off. Now we got the LED out. So here's a comparison between the factory fog light and then the amber version. And here is a comparison between the factory fog light and then the white upgrade. Alright, so as you can see, we've got the ambers installed on our vehicle temporarily since we don't have the bumper back on, but this is the color option we're going to go with. It was a really hard decision between the white and the amber, but since we're in Iowa and we deal with fog and snow, it typically makes more sense to go with an amber color due to that. But I would say if we were in like a mountainous area or somewhere very dark at night where we would just want a little more light output, we probably would have gone with the white. But for now, we'll try the amber. I might even throw the whites in later just to see how they do. But at this point, we'll stick with these. We'll button everything up and we'll get done with the install. So we got everything buttoned up. I'm really excited to try these on the road. Just seeing the difference between the amber and the white LED upgrades that we offer compared to the factory, it's gonna be a night and day difference. I wish we didn't have to take the whole bumper off to get everything out and the new upgraded LEDs installed, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it'd be. So either way, I'm glad we did it. It's definitely worth upgrading the LEDs and the fog lights since the factory ones are pretty much worthless. So if you guys have any questions for any reasons, feel free to email us at sales@cxmods.com or find us on social media and message us there. Otherwise, we'll see you on the next one. Welcome back, everyone. So we got everything put back together. I'm really excited to try these out on the road. Today we're going to be replacing the LEDs and the fog lights. The factory ones are pretty much... I'm really excited to test these out. I'm glad we went the amber just to see how they work out in